Now let's go into the solution of question 2 in homework 2. First, look at the condition that the question gives us. First, we can look at the condition that the question gives us. The question says possibility of x1 equal to 0 equals 0.2, and the possibility of x1 equals to 1 and equals 0.8. And also in the condition, we know the conditional probability of between xk plus 1 and xk, so we can get the conditional probability matrix. Is p xk this number can be the probability of k plus 1 equals to 0 under the condition of xk equal to 0, so it can be 0.6. And this one can be the probability of xk plus 1 equals to 1 under the condition of xk equals to 0. That is 0.4. And this one is 0.3, and this one is 0.7. Now we can look at the questions. Question A is find probability of x2 equals 1. It can be possibility of x1 equals 0 multiply x2 equals to 1 under the condition of x1 equals to 0, and then plus possibility of x1 equals 1 multiply possibility of x2 equals 1 and under the condition of x1 equals 1. That can be 0.2 multiply 0.4 plus 0.8 multiply 0.7. That can be there. Now we can get the answer. And now let's come to question B. Question B is asking us to find out the possibility of x3 equals 1. It's almost the same question. It can have two situations. The first can be x2 equals to 0 and x3 equals 1, and the second can be x2 equals 1, but x3 also equals 1. It can be rewrite to probability of x2 equals 0 multiply probability of x3 equals 1 under the condition of x2 equals to 1, then plus that is the possibility. This is the possibility of x2 equals 0 multiply the possibility of x3 equals 1 under the condition of x2 equals 0, then plus possibility of x2 equals 1 multiply the possibility of x3 equals 1 under the condition of x2 equals 1. Yeah. Now we bring the number into it. That is this can because in the question 1 we get the possibility of x2 equals 1 is this number, so the possibility of x equals 0 equals x2 equals 0 can be 1.0.64. Can multiply 0.4 and plus 0.64. and multiply 0.7. And now we got the answer. Now let's come to question C. Question C asks us to find out the condition possibility of x equals 1 under the condition of x3 equals 1. Yeah, and this possibility, this conditional possibility can equal 0. Then multiply possibility of x1 equals 0 and divided by possibility of x3 equals 1. Yeah, this was we get this equation by using the Bayes theorem, and because in the condition of the questions we already got the possibility of x1 equals to 0, so that is this one we already get, and in the question 2 we got this one, so we only have to find out this one. And how can we get this one? Look at the form of this one is look like this one, but is x3 x1, but k but this one is k plus 1 and pk. Actually, when we get the possibility of px.2, we get this one. Actually, we threw the possibility matrix of x1, that is 0.2, 0.8, multiply the conditional transmission function matrix, that is 0.6, 0.4, 0.3, 0.7. Multiply these two matrices, we got the answer of px2 equals 1, and we got the answer of px2 equals 0 and px2 equals 1. Yeah, this is what we need to find in question 1, and this is actually what we do in question 1. And now what we need to get is this one, and this is also a conditional possibility, and this one is also a conditional possibility. We can get this from its conditional transmission matrix like this one. So question 3, the square of this matrix equals to we can get from this matrix that px3 equals 0 under the condition px1 equals 0 is 0.048, and px3 equals 1 under the condition px1 equals 0 can be 0.52, and px3 equals 0 under the condition x1 equals 1 can be 0.39, and the possibility of x3 equals 1 under the condition of x1 equals 1 can be 0.62. And this one is what we need to find out. And we put this into this equation, and we can get what we need to solve out. x1 equals 0 under the condition of x3 equals 1 is this one, that is 0.52. Multiply this one, that can be 0.2 divided by this one, that can be 0.592. Now we got the answer, can be nearly to 0.176. And now we come to question D. Question D need to find out the px infinity equals 0, and your p x infinity equals 1. That can be the probability of x1. It can equals to the probability matrix of x1. x1 multiply the conditional transmission matrix. It can be 0.2, 0.8. The matrix multiply the 0.6, 0.3. Can be multiply the nth power of this matrix. Yeah. So and we need to add the limited. It can be 0.2, 0.8 multiply. Yeah. And now we got the answer.